It's been a while. I apologise. But I just wanted to talk about the latest edition of the Darts Euro Tour in Austria. And it's quite difficult to actually form coherent thoughts about this tournament because I found it quite, I'm not sure, underwhelming seems harsh because it wasn't, but I'm not sure, it was just quite odd compared to the previous Euro Tours, and I think we've just been spoilt, honestly, because the standard was incredibly high, and we were not short of drama at all. It was just delivered to us in a different way, I think, and it caught me off guard. So yeah, I still definitely appreciate it for what it was, and it was a really enjoyable watch. I would like to make clear that I did just watch the highlights. I don't have PDC TV yet. I do intend to, actually, because it's very cheap, isn't it? It's like £5 a month, I think, and considering we're getting, 2 or 3 tournaments a week these days, that's really not bad value at all, so I will get that at some point. But for this tournament I watched the YouTube highlights, and yeah, again, it was a very high standard, but I don't know if it's just because the highlights obviously show the tail ends of legs, but it felt to me like we were getting a lot of drama, but it wasn't down to insane averages or insane scoring like we have been in the last few weeks. It was more due to smaller dramatic moments, because the drama was delivered to us in a manner that you'd think one person was way clear in a leg, and then they'd miss a load of darts at double, and the person you thought was out of the leg would come back, and they'd maybe miss a big checkout like the one in the 170 kind of range, and then the opponent would miss more darts at double, and then the opponent would be below a ton, and then someone would eventually check out, and it might not be the person that you expected. That to me felt like the drama that was provided to us in this tournament, which took some adjusting to. I'm not going to lie, it was very different to what we've experienced, and again, this might be completely inaccurate because I did just watch the highlights, so if you watched it live, I apologise if this is all false, but this is just my opinion based off of the highlights. And if you did actually watch the highlights, I'd love to know if you agree or not, or if you think that it just follows in the same vein as the insane level of darts that we've experienced in the last few weeks. It's been an absolute joy to watch, and this week was no exception. We had plenty of underdogs shine, as we usually do in the Euro Tour, which is great to see. No less than Joe Cullen, of course, who made it to the final. It was great to see him at the tail end of the tournament because his talent deserves it. And he reminds me quite a lot of Nathan Aspinall, actually, and just with his level of talent, but not always getting the results. And again, similar to Nathan, he's one of the loveliest guys on tour, so it was amazing to see him at the final, and I hope we see more of him at these later stages of tournaments, because he utterly deserves it. Luke Littler, obviously, how can we not mention him? Again, he's just still in the form of his life, it seems, and it doesn't seem like he's going to leave that form until he's middle-aged, probably. But yeah, I don't want to stop mentioning Luke Littler, just because we're kind of used to it now, but to do what he's doing, having just been a pro for 5 months, I think, just even if he's not winning tournaments, to consistently get to quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals, let alone winning all the tournaments he is, it would be exceptional in itself. But he's winning just so many titles, and it's scary to think the numbers that he could reach and the records that he could break by the time that he's the age of MVG going prize. Hell, but Peter Wright, Gary Anderson, there's nothing to suggest that he has to retire by the time he's 30 or 32, he's insane to think, so I'm enjoying every moment of his career so far. Stephen Bunting, he's still performing very well. It was so unfortunate that he couldn't come back against Ross Smith, I think it was, but he showed incredible determination to come back from so many legs down and to bring it back to within 2, I think. If I remember rightly, I might be wrong. But, yeah, incredible determination from him. He's still playing extremely well and getting to these latter stages of tournaments, which is great to see. I think the only other talking points I wanted to bring up was MVG, because he is my favourite player, if you didn't know, so it's worrying signs, to be honest. I mean, it's promising in a sense that he's getting, like, to day 2 and 3 of these Euro Tours and, the quarterfinals of big events, just not really leaving his C game, to be honest. Like, at times he's playing poorly. Even if he wasn't MVG, if it was any other player, we'd say they're not playing great right now. But he still manages to win games, which is, I guess, one of the reasons why he's among the greats. In my opinion, the greatest. But I don't know. He's off form in the Premier League as well. I don't know if he's suffering maybe from a bit of burnout with all these tournaments, which is very possible, but I know he opted out of one recently, didn't he? It might have been last week's Euro Tour even. So I don't know, maybe he's just tired, maybe he's just in a rough patch, but it felt like he, with his success in the Premier League and on the Euro Tour, it felt like he was on an upward climb again, and he just fell off again recently. So I think it's just more consistency, really, that I'd love to see from MVG. But, I'm a Michael fan, so people who aren't are probably enjoying his lack of success and some different winners coming to the forefront, which is fair enough, I completely understand that, and it's great for the sport having these new names coming through. But yeah, just on a personal level, as an MVG fan, it was a tough watch, watching him scrape through those tough games and being knocked out in, I wouldn't even say the early stages, but just earlier than you'd expect for him. So yeah, I've got everything crossed that he's going to enjoy some more success in the Premier League. He must reach the playoffs, mustn't he? Surely. He's not going to be in the dropout zone. I really hope not, dear God. But yeah, unfortunately that he's still off form. And I hope that if he is struggling personally, then he overcomes whatever demons he's facing. But, I don't want to needlessly speculate. It might just be a rough patch. Because he is human. It's easy to forget that with Michael van Gerwen and Luke Littler and Gerwin Price, that they are human, they're not actually machines. Which is very difficult to believe when you see them putting in these performances week after week. And then you go down the pub and it's a 25 average, winning in 52 darts on double one all the time, but they are human, as it turns out. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say really on this tournament. I'm just really enjoying the darts at the moment, to be honest. I've not spoken much about it because I'm usually quite behind on the live feed, as I said, watching the highlights. And I've just been really busy of late, to be quite honest. So I've just been catching up a lot recently, to be honest. But that's all I really want to say on the Austrian Open. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Apologies if my opinions came off like more negative as normal, but yeah, I did still really enjoy it, and we were not short of drama. I think we've just been spoiled with the standard recently. Other than that, I'm hoping to see you tomorrow, actually, because I'm enjoying the Snooker World Championships as well at the moment. And Ronnie is... I'm a Ronnie O'Sullivan fan, and he's concluding his second round match in the morning tomorrow. So if that interests you, then I hope to speak to you then about that match and the tournament in general. If not, thank you for listening. I hope you're well. Yeah, as I said at the beginning, it's kind of been a while since we've spoken, so great to speak to you again. And yeah, have a wonderful rest of your night. Goodbye.